Hello and welcome to Power Skills with Janna. I'm Janna Jones, your leadership development specialist, coach, and mentor, supporting you as you build the most powerful skills in your toolkit. Today, we are talking about one of the most essential skills for both personal and professional success: communication. Whether you are leading a team, managing a project, building relationships, or simply trying to connect more deeply with those around you, communication is the foundation of it all. So, in this episode, we will explore why communication matters, how to enhance your communication skills, and practical tips that you can implement right away to become a more effective communicator. Whether you're strengthening your leadership abilities or improving your personal relationships, this episode has something for you. We often hear about the importance of communication, but why is it so critical? It is the thread that ties together every interaction we have, whether it's in the workplace, with our families, in social settings that are important to us. Good communication fosters understanding, builds relationships, and creates opportunities for collaboration. Conversely, poor communication or a lack of communication can lead to thwarted intentions and unfulfilled expectations, misunderstandings, conflict, and missed opportunities. But when we communicate effectively, we build trust because clear and authentic communication helps us to build trust with others, whether that's in a team, partnership, or friendship. We drive productivity because good communication streamlines processes and avoids confusion, leading to increased productivity. We solve problems. Communication helps us to navigate difficult situations and resolve conflicts constructively. We can also inspire and influence. Leaders, in particular, need very strong communication skills to be able to inspire and influence those around them. But effective communication is more than just speaking clearly or getting your point across. It's about connection, listening, understanding, and responding in ways that build rapport, trust, and mutual respect. To enhance your communication skills, it is important to understand the key components that contribute to successful exchanges. So let me break this down a little bit further. Clear and concise, because clear communication is key. If you want others to understand your message, it's important to be concise and avoid unnecessary jargon or complexity. Give context where necessary. The goal is to convey your ideas in a way that is easy to grasp. My team will often hear me call this the path of least resistance. A really helpful technique might be to ask yourself, what's the main point that I want to get across? Or even from the perspective of your own leadership, what do my team need for me for transparency and trust, and also in order to be most effective? Then focus on that point without overloading the listener with too much information. Active listening is also key because communication is not just about talking, it's about listening. In fact, the power in any conversation sits with the listener, not the speaker. It is so important that I have a previous episode on just this. But basically, active listening means giving the speaker your full attention, asking clarifying questions, and making an effort to understand their perspective before responding. It involves not just hearing the words, but paying attention to tone, body language, and unspoken cues. Being fully present in a conversation and actively listening helps to avoid misunderstandings, and it also shows the other person that their thoughts and opinions are valued. Emotional intelligence, because emotionally intelligent communicators are attuned to their own emotions and those around them. They can pick up on the emotional tone of the conversation and adjust their communication style accordingly. I also have a previous episode on this, actually. I will link these in the show notes in case there's any interest as you dig a little bit deeper into your own development opportunities. But for example, if you are aware that someone seems anxious or upset, you might soften your tone or be more patient with them. Emotional intelligence allows you to connect with people on a deeper level, fostering empathy and understanding. Body language and nonverbal cues are so important. Did you know that up to 93% of communication is nonverbal? Everything from your posture or stance to facial expressions and gestures, these all send messages even when you are not speaking. So, being aware of your own body language first and foremost, start with self awareness, as this can open your understanding and your ability to start reading others, helping you to navigate your interactions more effectively. Positive nonverbal cues like nodding or maintaining eye contact, keeping an open stance, such as arms uncrossed, chest and head up, this can show engagement and interest in the conversation. Feedback and adaptability are essential because effective communicators are open to feedback and willing to adapt their style based on the situation or the person that they're communicating with. This means adjusting how you speak based on who's listening, being flexible when you notice that there's confusion, and welcoming feedback so that you can improve. Even the best communicators will run into barriers from time to time. So perhaps there's an opportunity now for us to consider some of the common challenges and some tips to overcome them. Misunderstanding, of course, can stem from ambiguity. So being really clear about your message and avoiding vague language may be the key. If something seems unclear, you may need to ask for clarification to ensure that everyone is on the same page. Distractions and noise may make your intentions very difficult to understand. So, where possible, always try to communicate in environments that are conducive to the attention that they deserve. This could mean scheduling meetings in quiet spaces, refraining from checking your phone or emails during the meeting or connection, and asking for someone's full attention during important conversations. As we work in increasingly diverse and cross cultural teams, it's important to understand that cultural difficulties and differences may also pose a challenge. It can be important to be aware of potential cultural differences and communication styles in your team because some people may be more direct while others will prefer subtle nonverbal cues. Being open and adaptable to some of these differences helps to avoid misunderstandings. If you're unsure of the other person's preferences, understanding, or felt experience, perhaps there's an opportunity to ask or even invite feedback. Now that we've considered some of those barriers to effective communication, let's explore some practical application, specifically what you could do today to enhance your communication skills as you become a more effective leader and communicator. Practice active listening. By now, you already know that my next point is probably EQ because both of these are so incredibly important. But one of the simplest and most powerful ways to improve your communication is by practicing active listening. How you listen to another person has the power to steer the conversation and to create a positive and engaging felt experience more than anything you could possibly say. The next time you're in a conversation, perhaps you can make a conscious effort to listen more than you speak. Avoid interrupting. Wait until the other person has finished before responding. Not only will you gain deeper insight into their thoughts, but you'll also strengthen your relationship. Consider how you might start to develop emotional intelligence. Improving your emotional intelligence involves paying attention to how you and others feel during interactions. Perhaps you might practice recognizing your own emotions as they arise and then reflect on how these emotions impact the conversation. Reflecting and building self awareness in this way can help you to build and grow your emotional intelligence, respond more appropriately to the situation, and also foster a positive communication environment. Try to simplify your message. Whether you're presenting an idea to your team, having a conversation, sending an email, connecting with a friend, always aim to keep it clear and concise. Try to express your ideas simply, avoiding overcomplicated explanations. One technique that may help is to remember the KISS method. Keep it short and simple. Use positive body language. Building awareness of your nonverbal communication can be key. Open body language, eye contact, and a calm and composed posture can go a really long way to making others feel comfortable and heard. If you feel comfortable and confident that you're already doing all of those things, perhaps you may like to try the next step in mirroring another person's body language very subtly in order to create and build rapport. Ask questions and clarify. Do not be afraid to ask for clarification. If you don't understand something, you might say something along the lines of, "Could you explain that a little bit further for me, please?" Or, "I just want to make sure that I understand what you're saying," and then share an overview of what you heard. This can help you to avoid misunderstandings and show that you are actively engaged. And practice empathy. This is also a key component of emotional intelligence because being empathetic means putting yourself in the other person's shoes. It's about understanding their perspective, even if you don't agree, which comes from a place of trust and respect in itself. Perhaps there's an opportunity for you to walk in someone else's shoes. Consider how you would feel or how you might react and what you might need in that situation. When you practice empathy, you build stronger connections and you improve the quality of your communication. Clear and authentic communication is particularly important for leaders. Leaders who communicate effectively, they create an environment of trust, transparency, and collaboration. Enhancing your communication is so important for your leadership as it is for you, especially as you inspire and motivate others, for example. Clear communication is a power skill that leaders need to be able to inspire and motivate their people. Whether you're communicating a vision or giving feedback, the way you speak influences how your team thinks, feels, and performs. Leaders are also often responsible for resolving conflicts and fostering cohesion. Strong communication skills help leaders to navigate through tough conversations, mediate disagreements, and foster an understanding among their team members. Leaders who communicate effectively create a positive culture where team members feel heard and valued. This sense of belonging boosts morale, encourages open dialogue, fostering a more cohesive and high-performing team. Great leaders also proactively give feedback, not just when performance reviews roll around, both positive so that people know what good looks like, and sometimes constructive. When you deliver feedback with clarity, specificity, and empathy, it is easier for your team members to understand it and to act upon it, ultimately building trust, transparency, and improving their performance. As we wrap up, remember that communication is not just about speaking, it's about listening, cultivating connection and understanding. Whether in the workplace or in personal relationships, enhancing your communication skills will lead to more meaningful interactions, stronger relationships, and greater success. Keep practicing your active listening, improving your emotional intelligence, and simplifying your message because these small shifts that you can start today will have a profound impact on how you communicate and the connections that you build. It has been my absolute pleasure to connect with you today on Power Skills with Janna. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on developing the skills that truly matter. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts. What communication techniques do you find most effective? Please don't hesitate to reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn via Power Skills Development, or head to www.powerskillsdevelopment.com if you'd like to work with us further. I'd also appreciate if you could leave a review as it helps other leaders to find us and connect with our community. Thanks so much again for tuning in. Wherever you are, stay empowered and have a fabulous rest of your week.